if Zendaya was sitting outside of a Walgreens in Delaware, okay, I would have way too many questions to simply be like, Zendaya, I see that you're offering to have sex with me.
I have a really good throat game, some may say.
No one is saying this.
Nestani throat game.
No one should say this.
So
No one should say this ever.
this
at
is
all.
normally the part where I would say, what did I just walk back into?
But you were hearing it
I've
the
been
whole time.
hearing it the whole time.
Yeah.
So I can't even say
That ruins it.
It's whatever. I heard you calling me a fucking imaginary thing, by the way, like a bird or some shit.
Imagination
or whatever,
station.
or whatever
Who?
you were saying. I don't. You.
Nigga.
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't say you were imaginary.
You said I was something.
Yeah,
You're like,
I called him a plant. I didn't call him
yeah,
an
that's what it was.
imaginary
A bird or a plant or whatever it was.
I wouldn't insult you that
Something not human. I don't know, man. I feel
Something
like a plant is a
non-human.
worse insult than being a bird.
What? Dude, you take the carbon out of the air. You stop global warming.
Birds can fly.
Apparently not
Very
good enough.
job.
Birds can fly.
Yeah, and you know what else birds
It's
do?
just so
always
can
like-
plants. Anything can fly when dropped from a high enough altitude.
That's good
So
enough. That's good.
I could
That's
take
good.
it. I
People have
could,
been saying this.
I could shit on coal then from 100 miles up. And
Yeah, and you should.
I don't know, man. And maybe I'll practice with some clay pigeons, and then when the day you finally come,
He's gonna
I would
come.
never shoot.
Please
you.
don't come.
Welcome back to the
Yeah, I'll
podcast,
come on-
everyone.
I'll come on coal from 100
not
miles
going
up.
Oh,
Yep.
I don't know about that, but my name's Nestani.
I'm Jaxler, unfortunately.
I'm a bird named DECosmic.
Caca, nigga.
I'm cold.
And today we're going bird mode on the podcast. We're going to do our best world's wireless impression. No, but what we are going to do is we
We're
probably should talk
migrating
to
south and shitting on everybody.
people have been saying this, and you can migrate south to the comment section and let us know your favorite part of the episode. And
Yeah, please.
Incredible,
That was kinda clean.
incredible segue. I have to hand it to you.
No, actually, you don't have to hand it to us.
I
at all.
do.
That's what YouTube wants.
Yeah, that is what
good.
YouTube wants.
That's what
And
YouTube wants. You never notice that when like people say subscribe, then the little subscribe button actually like
I've
highlights
noticed
it
that
for a
recently.
desktop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
highlights.
crazy, yeah.
So now if you're watching, you could have just looked if you're watching this.
That's true. People have been saying this. Also,
It
people
lights
also
up
have been
rainbow,
wondering
too.
for an update from Mr. Coley_02 because we didn't talk about it last week, but he did do the dance pad thing. Do you want to talk about that or?
Oh yeah.
Oh sure, I did.
Yeah.
I
We got
I figured
to
that you
make a
wanted to bring it up
video
last
about it.
week, so I was just
So-
like, but then we talked about Linkin Park for like
didn't
40
care.
minutes.
I mean, no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I would talk about Linkin Park for much longer. I love that.
I wonder whose fault
So-
that is.
It's not mine.
But yeah,
knows?
I beat the game that I am known for speedrunning in the past is called Scooby-Doo 9/100 Frights. And about 7 years ago now, RyanInTheory, which on SRC
Hey, it's
is
me, Ryan
Zenbo,
InTheory, twitch.tv/RyanInTheory,
so it's
and I
RyanInTheory, and I approve.
And I can't put it this crap. This shit
But I mean, when I first joined the speedrun, I saw that category existed, and the fact that he told people not to do it made me want to do it more. So I
a spite
finally did
run.
it. And I won't spoil what time I got or if I beat him or anything,
You beat him off?
just because I'm making a. Just because I'm not beating him. I'm making a video about it.
I can't believe RyanInTheory is fucking dead.
I can't believe he's getting beat off by Coley_02.
Whoa!
That's crazy.
Hey, I mean,
Whoa.
all right. But
Him
I'm
with the
making a
tumbleweed.
video
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. And I think it's going to be really well. It's just been very difficult to write. I'm used to writing like review videos because it's basically all I've done. And this is a completely new different kind of video. So I'm kind of figuring out like how I should, like order things or pace the video and things like that. Doing live action bits. So I'm actually going to show like my face, which will be different.
Face reveal?
And so face reveal.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was pretty fun, and I don't know if I would do it with I could basically do it with any GameCube game now. So, I mean, if people end up liking this video, I could do it on another Scooby game, that's all my audience is right now is Scooby games. I hope to diversify it.
You gotta do Vex Troll Tag on a dance pad. You gotta do the Sack Tab speedrun on a dance pad. For those who don't know,
actually, what would probably be pretty good on a dance pad is Killer 7. Honestly,
that would be a good one. But
yeah, I feel like Killer 7 would be.
But you gotta
sack tap
someone with.
I don't like tax.
You gotta tap someone with your saxophone. So in a game I run called Vex, there's a category called Troll Tag, which is the new name for what was formerly known as Balls Percent, which is where you kick a troll in the balls. That's the goal of the category.
Balls sound
effect. You tag him in the balls. Okay,
yeah, you tag him in the balls. That's why it's called Troll Tag.
CBT.
Exactly.
Because like the way that it's named, I thought you played a game of tag with a troll, and I was like,
yeah.
What?
I don't know.
You're actually playing Tetris with the troll.
My question to you then, Coley, is like, would you then play like Unmasked or something if you were gonna go to another Scooby game?
See, that's probably what I would do because Mystery Mayhem makes me want to die, and and I can't do like First Frights or Spooky Swamp because those aren't on GameCube, and I could probably like there's probably some person who figured it out, and people do it with Elden Ring or whatever, so I could probably still do it, but it's just a different way of looking at the game, and it makes you it makes you appreciate game design a little bit, because like playing it on a dance pad made me feel like I was like playing it as a kid again, like it's like learning how to play the game all over again. It was cool. And I think it's funny that I had more fun speedrunning this than like normally speedrunning now. So if I do continue speedrunning stuff, that's probably how I'll do it. It's a different change of pace. But that's pretty much it in terms of dance pad stuff. Today I'm trying to make a thumbnail, and I have no idea how to make this thumbnail, but basically it was just me. I was just doing this all day. Just the dance pad's on the floor. I'm just doing this, taking pictures of myself. And I'm like just waving my arms all around, and I like
doing
am purposely
the wiggles,
falling over. I'm like just to try and get like a good image. And my mom's like, "What is going on upstairs? Like, what are you doing?" Because I'm just flailing around everywhere.
I'm doing content, Mom.
Yeah,
you wouldn't get it, Mom.
But
I'm sorry.
You never understand my dreams. No, my mom's a very sweet lady. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of dance pad stuff. So I would if you're interested in doing it, I'd recommend it. It's pretty fun. So
I would not recommend doing it.
I
don't
either.
think it's fun.
Are you finished?
I didn't really get that much. I want to flex on Ryan a little bit. He was saying like you're gonna get serious back and leg pain. I think that's just a skill issue. Like
you
I didn't
sat
really
on
get
the floor. You sat on the floor. You sat on the floor.
I did that at the very end.
You sat on the floor.
I did that at the very end of the run. And I did it just to do some tricks in the final boss.
You sat on the floor.
Every other part of that run, I stood up and did it. You can literally watch it. It's published on Twitch. You could go to my Twitch and watch the run.
Hashtag ad, gifted. Hashtag sponsored.
But
hashtag not sponsored.
I really do need
sponsored by Coley_02.
You can watch it, and I only sat
You know why
down
you did it? Because you did it for like 2 hours, dog. He did it for 4.
That's just a skill issue, bro.
No, he
Totally
did it in
not
2016, and you're doing it in 2024r after the game has like
You're wrong,
damn near
Nestani.
10 years of development.
You're wrong. That's not true. But
Ouch.
anyway, I'm also just obviously more ripped than he is, so
You're just objectively not. I hate to break it to you. I don't know if you've seen that man, but I've seen him in real life.
No,
Dude is
I haven't.
yoked.
Really?
Yo.
He doesn't he climb or something?
Yeah,
like that?
he climbs. Bro,
Your dude,
Ryan is-
it's over.
I should get into
Ryan
mountain
is
climbing. I have
in
a fear of
theory
heights, though.
yoked.
I don't even think it's a theory. It's just a fact.
No.
It's just a theory,
It might just be a
Giga
fact.
Chad.
Ryan in practice, you know?
Ryan in actuality.
Bro's a Giga Chad IRL. That emote Giga Chad, that's just Ryan.
Yeah.
He just walks around. Except he's a gender, so he kind of
He
loses.
posed for that, yeah, and then somebody had to Photoshop over him.
Yeah,
Well, they had to knock him down.
They had to tone down the physique for the meme.
No, they had to tone down the gingerness because like the hair just knocked him down.
That's
His
like his
hair,
fatal
it's
flaw,
kinda
you know? It's
cringe.
like-
yeah, so they just
That's like
photoshopped
his
the hair.
one like negative aspect of his character.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I can name some more, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you could, you know?
Ouch. Sorry, Cole.
You know what they
don't
say,
quiz me
keep your
because I would
friends-
have to make up some shit on the
I was
spot.
Okay.
You know what
You
they
were
say,
done-
keep your friends
you were
close and
finished
keep
with
your
your
enemies
point?
closer. So it's, you know.
Hey, Cole, are you done
I've
yet?
waited. I've waited like a week to do that, so it's fine.
Well,
It's
I was
all
actually
good.
done. So.
Yeah. You know, that's
I
just
still feel-
kind of
I
that's
feel
the
bad.
courteous guy
Listen.
that I am, dude. That's what it is.
Listen, I appreciate
Nah, don't feel
that.
bad. It was a great bit. You didn't know it was a bit at the time. It was a great bit.
So before
No.
we launch on anything else, I do just want to say I found myself in a rather
SpaghettiOs.
weird position yesterday, actually. So
Like
I now
doggy or cowgirl.
no, I wish
mission.
that would have been great, but unfortunately that's not the case.
Whoa.
I
I feel
mostly
like
just
you
mean
wouldn't find yourself in a position like that. Like, you don't just like
a lot of great decisions
undissociate and
back
it's
to
like,
back.
oh, I'm someone's like, you wouldn't just undissociate and someone's doing tricks on it. You know what I mean?
a lot of
Like,
great decisions back to back is crazy.
I'm just saying.
you know what I'm
He's
saying,
not
though?
wrong. He's
It's
not-
like,
hey, it's not
you
wrong.
don't just come
Especially-
to with someone bouncing on
Especially
it.
if it's doggy, bro. I'm just saying.
Hey, yeah, you know that.
So
lots of
I
good
Is
found
it
decisions.
myself-
possible and not so hard that you black out? Like,
Yes.
I wouldn't know. It is? That's shocking.
nearly.
Nearly.
Yes. Nearly. Yes.
Is it like hitting like the
So-
back of your head, like the occipital lobe, and it just like boom, you lose vision for a bit, or is it like
It's definitely something, and I just definitely like fell forward when that happened. So nobody was harmed in the process of that.
no one was
so-
harmed in the making of this video?
in the making of this nut. So
How did we get
don't
here?
worry about that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the
did that even
same
come from?
thing.
So
Cosmic
anyway.
ended up in a position, and you said what position?
So
is it,
anyway.
dog? I can explain. It's just I don't want to ruin the joke.
anyway, so I
guess I
found
did.
myself in a predicament yesterday.
Ooh,
So I
okay.
replaced my mattress of like 8.5
Predicky-wicky.
years a few weeks ago.
Congratulations.
And now I sleep on
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of those. Now I sleep on one of those like 4-inch like Japanese futon mattresses. Essentially, it was like $100 and some
weird.
dollars, and it's pretty comfortable actually.
Hashtag
So yes, I'm not gonna plug the brand because they haven't paid us. But
true.
if you want to reach out, brand, because then we can do that.
yeah.
At undisclosed
we just hit
brand.
50
At
subscribers. We
undisclosed
got
brand,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just have to track me down somehow. But I'm
So
sure they can do that.
how is this? Yeah, I was about
Yo,
to
you
say,
give
is
us
your
$20
identity
and a
already
box of
stolen?
chocolates, we got you.
No, so
Box of chocolate.
I moved my mattress out to like the living room, just in the event that the futon sucked. Right? I was like, well, if it sucks to sleep on, then I just won't do it. You know, I'll just move my mattress back in or whatever, despite it being garbage.
Have you considered
And,
a
like,
combo breaker?
thought
Mattress
about
and futon?
That would definitely be a combo breaker. But I have currently on the futon, I have like a layer of like 2-inch memory foam, so that's pretty cool.
Not to be confused with
So-
layers, the Smite player.
For like
Shut
a few
up.
weeks, that thing has kind of sat out in the living room, and I just keep neglecting it because I'm always so busy with stuff. I finally had the wherewithal to bring it out to the dumpster. So I bring out like the bed frame, and then I'm in the process of like bringing the mattress out there.
Bro,
and
you don't have
this
to
random
yawn during his story. That's kind of criminal. What the hell? Bro's just like,
this really nice.
Bro's trying to sleep on his mattress that he just threw out. Like, on God. Like, I don't know what the hell.
This nice random guy saw me while I was like dragging the mattress across the fucking parking
Pavement.
lots, basically.
Yeah.
The pavement to bring it to the dumpster. And while we're in the middle of that, one of the management staff for the leasing office sees us and goes, "Hey guys, that can't go in there." So I was like, "Oh, so where is it?" And she's like, "Well, there's one all the way down there of like a rollaway that like that's for furniture and everything." And I was like, "All right, I'll move it." And so she stood at her car while the entire time I'm doing this next part, by the way, just to make sure that I actually moved the stuff that I said I was going to move, which I always was. So the best part about this is that the guy that's helping me move stuff says, I gotta go, dude. And I was like, "Oh, all right." He's like, "I don't really have time to," and I'm like, "Cool,
I ain't got
that's
time for this
fine.
shit.
You can leave. You were nice
What
enough to
size
help me
bed
get
was
it this
this?
far." It was a queen for context.
Okay.
It was a rather large
All right,
mattress.
that's pretty big.
So I had to I had to drag the bed frame like clanging across the pavement for like half a mile to this dumpster. Open that up, toss that in there, and then because I was like, well, I don't want to drag this mattress across the pavement, I'm like dragging this thing through people's backyards to just like get to the dumpster. And there's like some dude just sitting out there like, you know, on his back porch or whatever, just on the ground floor, and he just like watches me the entire time that I'm pulling this mattress across there. Never offers to help once. And I just go, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I'm like, I'm dragging a queen size mattress across a backyard.
Yeah, welcome
for
to
half a
America.
mile.
No one's helping your ass, dog.
How do you think that
Yeah, I
I'm
was-
doing, dude? Yeah, like, and using the power of momentum and fulcrum points, I actually hoisted this thing into the dumpster, and I'm just like, well, I was gonna exercise, but
You
I'm
already
not.
did it, yeah.
You already did, yeah.
yeah,
You're
it was
shredded
it was
now.
just one of the most
That was
absurd
back day.
situations that I have ever been in, because I'm just like, how did I get to this point that I was just like trying to go, I don't know, like 200 feet to the fucking dumpster and just put and just throw my mattress in
I
aside
assume
or
you like
whatever.
tilted it on the side and just like pushed it,
I just
right?
kind of like shoved it in this, like when it was at the regular dumpster, I was just like shoving it in the side to like, because I wasn't going to put it in the compactor or anything like that. I was going to let them just do whatever they wanted with it. But I had to drag this thing across like,
But then
a
you had to
couple
do
of-
their job.
couple areas.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially. Yes.
that's-
and then
it's
bring
really
it
cool.
bring it
Because
to the
capitalism-
rollaway and then just hoist it in there. And I'm like, the whole time I'm just, oh my God. Like my arms are still sore from this crap. Because I was like, oh my God, dude.
Man.
Yeah. It was an adventure. It was not the type of adventure that I wanted for what is it, Monday? It was Monday, yeah. It was Tuesday today. So
Ugh,
yeah,
hate
Monday.
Mondays.
Yeah.
Hate Mondays. Love lasagna though.
All
Yeah.
right, Garfield.
That was
Sucks.
Yeah.
This sucks. Anyway.
This sucks, dude.
Oh, I thought you
Indeed.
said Garfield sucks. I was about to be
No,
really.
well-
No.
Whoa, whoa,
I don't think Garfield
whoa.
sucks. I think Garfield's just mid. Like, it's just
It's
okay.
decent. Yeah, he's decent. He's an
All right,
orange cat, right?
Yeah,
You know.
I'll take that.
On Saturday, I also drove to a flea market to see what kind of like retro game store was down there, and I actually had a pretty impressive. collection. Yeah, it was
I
like an
love
hour
doing that.
drive or something through Maryland. And I
Dude,
was
Yeah.
like,
how bad did
"Ooh."
it smell in there?
Not bad actually, which was
Dude,
kind
those
of
things
interesting.
smell like
For
just
Southern Maryland, I was a little surprised, but
yeah, dude.
you know,
There's some flea markets I've been to where it just smells like Patrick's mouth in that episode, where there's like a green stinky line that comes out of
Oh,
his
is it?
mouth.
That's
Familiar.
SpongeBob
Has
now.
it too.
I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
that, but I'm
No,
sure
dude,
I'm
that-
familiar with the green smoke in cartoons. Yes,
Yeah.
that resembles
Yeah.
flatulence.
Yeah.
There was also a very clear sense that the shopkeeper had not spoken to another nerd in quite some time. Because I was like crouched over by the PS2 games as I do for
Yeah.
like 10 minutes or whatever, like contemplating just like, what do I actually want to get?
Yeah.
And I didn't know if he was like profiling me or just like wanted somebody to talk to.
I love
But he like comes over and he's like, hey man, what are you looking for? And I was like, I kind of just am browsing. I'll probably know it when I see it. And then I was like, oh yeah, there's a Japanese copy of Onimusha 2 up there. Maybe I'll grab that. And he goes, oh, that's what game that is. And I was like, and I took the case off the shelf and I turned it around and I said, well, if you look at the back, you can see that it's Onimusha 2. because there's the
Damn,
protagonist is
you
right there.
Onimusha explained it.
That's
Onimusha
crazy.
explained it.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, you can tell," and I'm like, "Okay." So, but I did drive an hour there, so I eventually walked out with a copy of Fatal Frame because I was like, I'm buying something expensive.
Okay, nice.
If I drove an hour to get here, I bought that, and I bought like a $10 copy of the original release of Devil May Cry 3, which I haven't seen anywhere since I was like in high school. So.
And then he
I was
bought
like,
a $3 copy of Scooby-Doo Natural 100 Frights for the PS2.
I bought some DVDs.
Why?
That one of them was like $3, I think. So one of them was like an Afro Samurai collection. I think it's just the whole series.
Props to you for still using physical media.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those
big prop.
things where, I mean, I have like a detachable DVD drive or whatever, so that I can just keep I can just watch something or whatever while I'm doing something else. Like there will be days where I'll sit down to like route a game or something, or I'll sit down to, I don't know, just noodle around in whatever, and I'll just like put on something that maybe I've seen once or twice, and then just let it go while I'm doing something else. So I mean, it's also again just a good thing to keep this sort of stuff in my collection, because like I don't know if I'm ever gonna see Gangsta on, TV again. So, and I bought that there at the Flea Market too. That was one of the more expensive things they had because it was a Blu-ray. But like, there was the video game store, and then honestly, the more impressive store, because they just had so much stuff, was this place called Video Village that had just wall to walls of like VHS tapes and DVDs and stuff. They had a whole section just dedicated to like martial arts classics and everything. Yeah.
Not to be confused with Marshall
Dude,
Mathers.
what?
No one was
I don't think
confusing
Marshall
it with
Mathers knows
that.
martial arts.
Shut up.
So.
Martial arts. I gotta say, like, at least like retro video game store owners are so funny because like they have no social skills. Which I mean,
Damn.
I'm no better, but like, no, it's so. I love where it's like they treat you like because they're so not used to people like understanding what they're talking about or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, cool, look at that. It's like a Game Boy SP, and or like, oh, look, that's like a Super Famicom like cartridge that you can play like Game Boy. And they're like, very good. Wow, you know your stuff. Like, very impressive. And I'm like,
war flashbacks, Cole. You're giving me war flashbacks.
Is this racism or...
I'm not in school. Like, what? Like, am I in first grade again? I used to hate teachers like that.
Like fucking
I used to hate teachers like that because
kind of shit.
it just seems like they would be lying to you, like they're being insincere, like they're saying like very good, but on the inside they're like saying like you're
Kill yourself.
You're right. Exactly. They were like, dude, they're like, I could be anywhere but here, but God, I have to sit you.
That's why whenever I go into like a retro store, I like
Not to be confused with Anywhere,
I don't,
Anything All at Once. Whatever that fucking movie's called.
I always tend to like to go at weird hours or like with other people, like especially at like GDQs and Pass, because it's just
Gotta
like
have a buddy system.
I always want I always want the buddy system just in case I run into one of those kinds of people, just because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this fucking weird ass shit.
The owner was like a year younger than me, and he like brought up how the original Space Marine game is now much more expensive because of Space Marine 2 coming out and actually being pretty decent. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, and I'm just like,
Do I look like
and he's like checking out my stuff.
Like, okay.
And then he starts going, oh, IGN gave them a low score because they don't have diversity. And I'm like, I'm not having this conversation with you right now. I'm really not.
It's
like,
such a mixed bag, but it's like,
like it started out great interactions. We were talking about stuff like different Japanese copies of stuff, and he tried to like pawn off a Vampire Hunter D PS1 copy on me, and I was like, no, I'm gonna hand this back to you now. He actually had Saga Frontier 2 at a pretty reasonable price. He had a lot of stuff in there that was very reasonably priced. He had a lot of just stuff in general. He had like 4 Super Nintendos and shit in there. There was a lot in there. And then while I'm checking out my stuff, he has to do that. And I'm like, we're not doing this right now. Like, we're just not. I'm going to buy my stuff and I'm going next door. Like,
yep,
I'm good.
Yeah.
See you later, dude. Like, I drove an hour. Again, like, I just come back to the excuse of I drove an hour. I'm not putting up with this garbage conversation piece.
I feel like on the same token, once you find like that one spot where it's just like, you know, the owner's like chill or not like weird, like you never want to go anywhere else. Like I kind of had that experience at AGDQ, and when there's this there's a place in Pittsburgh that was owned by a like a speedrunner and by someone who went to GDQ, and he's like, yeah, if you got a GDQ badge, like 10% off on everything.
You should have invited me to that place.
I'm making you go with me next. GDQ
Jax doesn't like you, so he doesn't invite you to things. You know.
Yeah, it's only VIP.
Yeah, only VIP.
I don't know.
VIP
considering
only.
how much we hang out at all the other GDQs, he like dropped the ball for one, and then he was right back in there for SGDQ.
Yeah.
So.
In my defense for that GDQ, I was running a what I called a shitty game Secret Santa.
That's
I was
true.
reserving seats in my car for people to be able to go pick up stuff for their Secret Santa.
Yeah, I'm just busting your chops, dude.
Yeah,
Don't
I
worry
know.
about it.
I'm just busting.
That's exactly what somebody would say when they actually really personally care about it.
Yeah.
No, that was GDQ was actually a pretty good opportunity for me to like hang out with like I guess form some new social circles, because there was one GDQ where Jax and I like were just around each other like a ton.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm always trying to form new social circles at GDQs to have more people to make plans with and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that AGDQ was a really good opportunity for me.
I feel
like
like
GDQ for business. He's like, I'm networking. Like, I'm going to get all the names.
Networking,
like,
also known as making
here.
friends? Like, what? Come on, bro.
Nah, man. I only use people for business.
Jesus
Christ.
No,
we
I'm
have the
joking.
clips to prove it as well.
Do not bring up the Animal Crossing clips. We know.
Whoa. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah. Kind of back on the whole thing with the flea market stuff, though. There's been a flea market that I've been kind of meaning to get to that's like on the west side of Indy, but I haven't had the chance to yet. But it's like, again, kind of like, I've never really been to like a flea market in that kind of situation before. Like anytime I've gone hunting for retro games, it's been in like a pre-established storefront location sort of thing. So it's like, and again, social anxiety. So I'm like, there's that, but I'm also probably going to look in advance. I'm also on the hunt for like CRTs and stuff too, for like
certs.
A project thingy. Certs. Yeah, I'm looking for certs. For basically an IRL thingy. I'm trying to get going for speedrunning and grassroots stuff. I managed to find little hole in the wall that I could probably like host some like meetups or weeklies at or something like that.
That's fucking dope.
And so I want to use that as kind of like a testing ground to be able to see like, you know, gauge interest, you know, try some things, see, you know,
that's pretty
see what works, what doesn't. So yeah, it's kind of neat.
You know,
I don't have any CRTs, so I need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I
simply buy a bunch of monitors with retro tanks.
Jesus Christ.
Duh.
Just spend $140 on every single retro tank.
Yeah, exactly. Or just get 2 CRTs for the price of, please get this out of my garage. You know, that's the other thing.
True.
That's how you really get it. Yeah. Why is it called a flea market?
Because you're wanting to run away from it because of the smell, as you alluded to before.
I mean, I can look it up.
Yeah, pull that up, Cosmic.
It's probably because it's like you want to get rid of your things, so you're wanting your things to run away from you, so it's the flea market. That's my actual guess.
But isn't it flea like the bug? Like, I feel like it's usually spelled that way.
Yeah, because there's bugs outside on your old shit that you need to get rid of.
Wow, thank you. God, why do I use Google, dude? Just Nestani's got all the answers, man.
People have been saying this.
What?
I don't know if I've been saying this, but
I love Nestani's etymology. Word of the day, etymology.
What the fuck does that mean? I don't care.
The study of words.
I don't care.
So
that was the most hateful. What the fuck does that mean I have ever heard?
You know,
that was vitriolic. God damn.
What, bro? Am I the only one that speaks English in this?
That was venomous. That was poison.
So
that was,
I have a quote here from.
That was laced with fent.
I have a quote here from mentalfloss.com.
mentalhealth.com.
This article.
Oh, of course.
This article was written by Matt Soniak. It was published last year. Quote, and this is him quoting G.S. Doherty, their 1922 book in Europe. It is called the Flea Market because there are so many secondhand articles sold of all kinds that they are believed to gather fleas.
Oh,
that
so
is one
the
of
shit is so old that there's fleas on it.
So
that is
dirty.
There are many other possible origins.
I'm Google.
That is just one of them.
Fuck the big
but
three. It's just big meat.
It's just big meat.
That is one of them. I mean, there's other things here, but you probably just should read it.
No.
Nah, it's fine.
You know what's crazy is that you
fine.
didn't need to put all the things at the beginning of that. You could have just skipped to the final sentence, you know? But you were like, this person
makes it
wrote
sound much better.
Yeah,
So-
but I just like, I don't know, man.
We
Like,
want
is it that
clear,
important?
concise definition.
I don't.
It is important.
I like
so
spreading
that there's
misinformation.
Oh, I know.
All right, wait. Can I ask you something like a Google browser?
Yeah, sure.
What is the meaning of life?
There is no
What does it
meaning of
do?
life. You should kill yourself now.
Wow.
Well, all right then.
I mean, he's kind of spitting though, because life is meaningless because meaning is a thing that humans created. So it's like
That is probably true.
People have been saying that.
I sometimes-
Yo, guys, do you want to get existential on the
meta, Knight.
podcast right now?
yeah, I'm down.
I was gonna say
I'm
I
fucking
can't
down to run
believe
it.
I can't believe that we gave up hunting and gathering for like depression. Like
Yeah, honestly, we should go back to the Great Depression. I think that was lit.
I don't think so.
That's a real
I
character.
would-
That's some real character development right there. Like that's some
It's
good
really
arcs,
character
some
building
good character
era.
arcs.
Yeah, my character
Right,
development
yeah.
is actually wanting racism to come back. So
What?
I don't have the social capabilities to continue that conversation. I don't know what to say.
There's nothing
Like, how
to
do-
say.
How do I continue
There's no
this
way.
podcast?
There's no way to follow
Get me out of here.
that. Not at all.
but
dude.
you could follow the podcast on Spotify, guys, if you want to do that. So that's cool.
You should do that.
That would be
yeah.
cool.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Or you could
That was
live your
yeah.
life.
You could also do that.
improve.
Live your life. Oh.
Ayo.
Live your life.
I want to go to a mountaintop and just eat a loaf of bread, like freshly baked bread.
Who asked?
Sorry.
Honestly,
okay.
I think he's kind of spitting
let me-
here.
Wait,
I
but
feel
was
like
thinking
he's kind
about-
of spitting.
I was thinking about hunter gatherers, and then I was thinking about the Great Depression. Then I was thinking about the bread lines they had at the Great Depression, and then I was thinking about when I went to Washington D.C. like when I was in 8th grade, and there was like a statue, and then I was like,
What does
rocks
DC
and metal,
stand for
and then
in
I was
Washington,
like,
D.C.?
District of
Columbia.
District of
I
Cum.
feel like
This is
anytime the
Columbia.
phrase
Is it just
hunter
dick
gatherers
cheese, like
get
Washington
brought
dick
up, it
cheese,
gets
or-
brought up by like
It should be Dick Cheese.
Not
paleo-conservative
to be confused with Dick
fuckheads,
Cheney.
and it's kind of completely ruined that concept for me forever now.
What, hunting and gathering?
That's a bummer.
Yeah, because I just associate it with the worst people and the worst arguments on planet.
Hey, Jax, how about you
Oh,
hunt and
yeah,
gather some bitches,
that.
dog?
I
Damn.
wanna. I can work on the gathering part, but the hunting part, that's kind of fucked up.
A little bit.
Well, depending on what you're doing.
I'm not trying to poach bitches, okay? I'm more of a stir fry kind of guy.
You're right. When you have a
More of a
license, you need
stir-fry.
a license to get bitches before you can actually have them. So,
Ouch. Jesus.
Anyway,
but dude, you ever just want to like go up to a mountaintop for like a few months, like a year,
No.
and just like
No,
chill
not for a
there?
few months.
No,
not for
here's
months.
the-
I like going to the
that's
top
like
of
a
mountaintops.
Oops, that's like a training arc, like that I want. I want that for myself. I don't.
I
know
would
how
like to go
hunt
up and
or
I would like to go up into the mountains and live in like a really nice house that still has internet.
Yeah,
And
not, dude. I
and
want to.
get-
I'm like Dragon Ball. Like I want it like Goku.
You're dragging
like,
your balls up the mountain.
And then he's going to go Super Saiyan on top
damn.
of it.
If your balls are dragging up the mountain, that's quite the sack. You know, you might need some troll tag to help you get those back up into position. You know,
Yeah, why don't you call
man,
it sack for cent,
Ancient
dog?
vasectomy.
I was trying to get
Sitting
into
carpet.
GQ. That's why.
The YouTube videos. I dragged my balls across the entire Rocky Mountains.
that would go nuclear. I'm just saying. That was
On a dance pad, by the way.
Yeah. No. Yeah, on a dance
I
pad.
dropped my balls with a dance pad.
Playing Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights with my testicles.
ooh.
On a dance pad.
On a
On a
dance.
dance pad. You just see me like jump up, do the splits, and then just land right on them just to go down.
I was gonna say if you were still
Ugh,
standing, it would
dude.
be impressive. Like,
Dude, can you guys do the splits?
No.
no.
I can't do the splits either.
Yeah,
I'm
we
trying
know.
to lose weight, dude.
Cool.
What makes you think I can do splits?
Damn, okay.
I don't know, dude. There's some flexible people out there that are like, you know, bigger.
I used to be
Damn,
able to
he
put
really
one
didn't
of my
want to
feet
say
behind the
fat.
back
He
of my
went
neck,
through all
back
the
of my
words on
neck.
his head to not say fat.
Yeah, I was like, shit. He Rolodexed it.
You saw the gears turning.
In
Not to
fact,
he's
I got yeah,
said-
my head was a slot machine, and then I was like, I might as well just said fat at this point. And then now we're here.
Yeah.
Said that our.
Don't worry. I'm here to call you out. That's my job.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's good. Keep me on my toes. Make sure
Yeah.
I spit the sentences out quicker, you know.
yeah.
Indeed.
But
Not to be
Just
confused with
spit
spit.
some bitches out quicker.
No. Just don't.
wait, can I? Wait,
Just
can I,
don't.
wait, I could bring up a
Don't
really
do it.
disgusting conversation topic, can I?
I could bring up
Sure.
another
For
one
it.
too that's related to balls.
If it's bad, I'll just talk over you.
Okay,
Just go
cool.
for it.
So
Cool.
So, wait, you go first.
I'll go first.
Okay,
His
go
balls.
for it.
And
Jack.
this is something I thought about because
Oh,
it
no.
happened to me earlier today. Do y'all ever like sneeze so hard that you like feel it like deep in the pit of your sack? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like-
that's why they have you cough at the doctor's office.
No.
Yeah, but when I cough at the doctor's office, I don't feel it in the sack. But like, but you know what I'm saying?
In the pit?
Well, that's why they
Yeah, like
have.
not
That's
in
why
the
they like
balls,
hold.
but like
That's like
like,
where they hold
what?
your junk
up in
and
there,
you cough.
like in the bridge betwixt. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, the perineum. Word of the day.
I thought it was perennium.
I don't know.
fucking Nestani.
This is the wackiest podcast.
Perineum, dude. I can't.
What
I
were you
can't
gonna
tell
talk
if
about, Cole?
perineum.
Just go ahead. Sure.
Perineum either sounds like an extremity or it sounds like the next science fiction novel.
Why not both?
Anyway, so I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about bidets, and I've never done a bidet before. And
Never
and
done a
fucked
bidet?
if you try. No, but everybody
Same
says
brain
that when
cell
they
over
fuck a
here.
bidet,
I did not
it
have
changes their
sexual
life.
relations with that bidet.
No, but people, every time somebody uses a bidet, they're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever since sliced bread. Like, everybody should have this. World
Yeah,
peace
on
would
a
be
mountain.
achieved. Cancer would be cured. Like, and it's like, okay.
Call back.
But, and so there was this guy, he was like, I can't do toilets without bidets. And so he's like, what if it's an emergency? What do you do? And you know what he says? He says, I spit on the toilet paper.
Octua.
Right?
Spit on that thing.
He hot was on that thing, but it's toilet paper. I'm like, and the guy interviewing him, he was like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, that's crazy, dude. But listen, if you guys do that at home, leave a comment down.
Actually, no, don't leave a
but it's
comment.
like-
Keep it to yourself and then kill yourself.
Things you didn't no. But it's, I found that very disturbing personally. I don't know.
I mean, my
if,
question
if you
that's
just
a
roll
me-
up your, you know, because you can also just like go to the faucet and like wet it a little bit too. The only
That's
thing is
true,
that you have
yeah.
to have a lot of toilet paper and you have to wipe very lightly, but it can be done.
Yeah.
Barbaric. Yeah.
It's just annoying. Like you know, you
It's
would
just
rather have a bidet,
suboptimal.
or you would just rather just do it dry.
My
Just
question
do
to
a
that guy
dry wipe.
is how does he feel about like flushable wet wipes? That would be my question to that guy.
You know, that didn't come up in the conversation, but
don't
I've
like them.
actually tried
That
flushable
interviewer-
wipes, and it
Or
was
just
weird.
shower and just wipe your ass in the shower. That's the other play too, right? It's just like
I
so.
mean, yeah. That's.
So-
I think that's what most people do. You know.
Even if you have that
But
much of a problem with the dry wipe, it's just like do that, dumbass. Like
Yeah.
Listen, man, but the jungle has been something that's been left untamed for millennia, and now we're finally.
All right. Actually,
anyway, Cosmic, what were you gonna talk about?
What do you mean by that? You know, it's just like it's a couple down there.
Please talk about like something. Talk about
I do find it interesting that it always comes back to shit at the end of the day, man.
Well, it's just it's just a natural topic, you know. I don't think it's barbaric.
I suppose.
I think it's natural.
Well,
it's beautiful and natural.
Everybody poops.
Like
comment down below if you
the best part of my day.
Comment down below if you got that reference.
Taking a poo.
True.
Shitters.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just going to talk about boring adult shit, honestly. Like, I get excited about...
All right, I'll take it.
I was going to say, I mean, I get excited now at the thought of, like, I don't know, like, there's this entertainment center behind me, and I'm like, man, I haven't used this PS4 or monitor in years. Like, maybe I need to invest in different bookshelves and stuff so I can actually have more storage space. Like, that's the sort of shit that I get excited about now, because I am now currently
interior design.
I guess if you want to call just like buying random black furniture off of Amazon interior design.
Not to be confused with random black people.
I don't think
so. This entertainment center right here, it currently holds like a bunch of DVDs and PS3 games and 360 games. And since I'm now like done filling out the other bookshelf behind me with like PS2 games, it's now come to my attention that I have like PS1 games up here and then like a bunch of DVDs down here. And I'm like, well, I want to expand the collection, but I now no longer have room for this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But also there's more possibilities if I just buy more storage space.
Endless possibilities, the Sonic song.
It's true.
That's a banger.
I love that song.
It's a
What
banger.
made you think of that song, dude? I was listening to that the other day.
What game is that
I
from?
love that song.
Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic
Yeah.
Unleashed, okay.
And there's a 30th anniversary edition where
the orchestra.
Yeah, with the orchestra, and it's like, oh, it's peak. It's like, oh my god, I love that song so much. I love Sonic. Oh, dude, I can't wait for Shadow. Oh my god, that's gonna be so awesome. I can't wait for Sonic 3 so much, dude. Are you guys excited for Sonic 3? I'm sorry, were you done with that
Shadow
thing?
Are you done yet?
Are you done yet?
Sorry.
I will
I'm a
I will
Sonic
never
fanboy.
be able to top this bit from his end. Like I could let him go on forever and then, interrupt him as soon as he's like almost done and then be like, "Are you done?" And it will never top the natural rudeness of how he interrupts a point, goes off on a tangent with such. I think what really sells it is the conviction. Right, the conviction and the passion.
That's true.
With
People
which
have been
you
saying this.
then like sort of
The
just
passion of
snap
the
to,
Christ.
and you're like, huh, somebody else was talking.
Yeah, when you
And then
snap
you
to,
just-
That's just how my brain works. That's how my brain works. I have like chains of thought. Like I did this one time because a girl didn't believe me in high school that this is how my brain worked. I was like, if you give me a topic,
I don't think a lot of
I
girls
will
believe
just,
you
Ouch.
or believe in you.
This is what happens when your brain is younger than the Devil May Cry series.
But no, I do the same thing where like I do interrupt people, but I always like give them the launching point back of like what they were saying beforehand, because I just forget everything I'm going to say. And because I forget everything I'm going to say, I normally wrap it up really quickly and then I throw it back. Not to be confused with throwing it back like twerking. I'm not doing that. But yeah.
Imagine you just come to and you're just throwing it back and you don't know how you got there.
Throwing it back just like Stuart's sack. Incredible.
Stuart looks in his sack.
Stuart looks in his sack.
A message of our generation.
a generational icon.
Stuart throwing it back for the
Generational trauma. Stuart throwing it back.
Stuart throwing it back for the communist.
Definitely
Party.
is some generation.
Okay, now I have to ask because it's kind of been on my mind now.
SpaghettiOs.
If you black out midnight and you come to, what's the worst position to be in?
Probably standing 69, if I were to guess.
Standing?
Yeah. I mean, I've not done that.
Are
but
they
that's
like
the
holding
thing.
you by the ankles, but instead of like shaking you for
Well, whoever
pocket
is
change?
upside down would be, yes, being held by like
the
whatever,
ankles?
dude.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how that would work.
It's like instead of like shaking you for your quarters and like restarts.
Nobody's doing this. I can tell you this right now. Nobody's doing that. That's criminal.
For audio listeners, Nestani's making the most sad, depressed face I think I've ever seen him make in the years.
Do I blame him? No,
probably.
I mean, I don't really think I'd care because it'd probably feel great.
You know, whatever makes you happy.
I've blacked out. Not from nothing.
I just want to say, remember like episode 2, the Pokemon episode, where I said the sentence, "What happened to shame?" I just want to bring that back up. What happened to shame? What happened to keep it to yourself?
Shameful.
You know what's funny is that we said maybe you should keep it to yourself, and all 3 of you niggas agreed with me, and then now we're here.
I still agree. What have I said that is shameful?
I mean, what don't you say that isn't shameful? Like,
so honestly, like I'm just answering the question that was proposed by Jaxler.
Yeah.
All right.
Jack, stop proposing DECosmic.
What?
Stop
Sorry?
proposing.
We already covered the 5-step process to get engaged.
We already covered that.
You're skipping a couple steps.
I am skipping a couple of steps.
He's doing the trunk. He's doing the TLDR version.
Oh my god.
He's following the instructions, just the shortened version.
Malicious compliance.
Not to be confused with the shortened version of Humans, which is Cosmic.
Damn.
So yeah,
that silence spoke volumes. I just want to say, that silence said more than any one of us could have.
Volumes that I can't fill because I'm so short. So
yeah, exactly. And
people have been saying this. That was a good one.
That was a really good. That was.
I appreciated that one.
I do it for all the over 6 foot people.
Cosmic, do a freestyle rap right now.
No.
No
thanks.
No.
I'll end the podcast early. No one's hearing
this will be the series. This will be the series finale.
I have the Infinity Stones.
Wow, that's a bummer, dude. I would love to see it.
People,
but I've only getting back to I just realized I haven't blacked out. I've passed out. That's not the same thing, right?
From what?
Basically the same thing.
I passed out because I had
nutting.
I was sick. That's the only times I've passed out.
Did you get yourself sick?
I would consider that falling to sleep, but to each their own.
No, I was sitting at an assembly in high school and I was sick, and then I stopped hearing. I just noises stopped, and then I was like, whoa, and then it felt like my eyes were like the ISO was turned up too much. Like it was all grainy. Shit. And then the next thing I knew, 2 teachers were holding my arms up, and I looked over and I was like, hey, that's the principal. He's a cool dude. And then I looked over again and I was like, now he's my English teacher. What?
Were they holding you by the arms or by the ankles?
By the neck.
I would hope by the arms.
By the neck.
No. But I thought this is the worst part, is that it actually felt really cool. Like I would be interested. I wouldn't want it to happen, obviously. The second time I did it was when I had COVID, like 2 years ago. That was not good. But the first time,
it was lit.
It was lit. It was cool. It was like an out of body of experience, you know. I was really thirsty though. I drank like 3 bottles of water in like 5 minutes.
I mean, you're still thirsty now, man. Like we know what your Instagram looks like.
We know what you are.
As somebody whose blackout experience or near blackout experience are either during sex or when I've been high or drunk, I have to say the experience of blacking out is not great.
I'm just saying, this is the only thing I'm going to say. How the fuck are you nutting so hard that you're blacking out? Like, what the fuck is going on in your head,
time,
dog?
dude. It was just like once or twice, really.
Did you just like edge for like 18 hours straight? Like, what the fuck is going on?
No. It was just really good, bro. Just having a great time.
I'm not having a great time.
I can tell, but I'm gonna.
You know, I read this thing about fentanyl where one of the people that used fentanyl said that using fentanyl is like having a torrential downpour outside, like in your car, and then you drive into a tunnel and everything goes quiet.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I wish I could do that right now. It sounds cool.
You should try some edibles.
Sounds like you should nut.
It'll do that.
I would solve your
I
problem.
would love to silence all the noise.
Shout outs to Depeche Mode. Enjoy the silence.
Shoutouts to fentanyl, dude.
Yeah.
Fentanyl sounds cool. I'm just saying that description kind of made me want to do it.
I would not recommend.
You know what's crazy is that like the amount of fentanyl that will kill you is like less. It's like
it's like nothing.
When you look at a penny, it's like the date on the penny.
It's because it's like what 100 or 50 times more potent than heroin. Like,
yeah.
So duh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I mean, like, yeah, I think there was 1 year. I think it might have been 20. It was the late 2010s. Where heroin was just like so prevalent because everybody was just like getting their hands on it.
Yeah.
I forget what year it was actually like the drug of the year, but it was at the point. I'm serious,
This year nominated for
and the Oscar goes to
the Oscar goes to heroin.
Black tar heroin.
It was at the point where people were so brave that like one of the Walgreens that I worked at, like people were just trading it like in the bathrooms and like thinking that we didn't know what was going on. And it was I don't know, man. It was some of the stupidest like drug handoffs that I've ever seen. Cause like if you're going to act that excited about going to the bathroom, you should at least stay in there for a little longer than 10 seconds to make it a little less obvious that you're just grabbing heroin from
you should like
inside
have sex
there.
or something.
Hey, they could have used Quick Attack, dude. Could have been boom, done. Heroin user uses Quick Attack.
Well, no, it was like, I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Because, like, one of them was very clearly amped to get his heroin. And then just, like, went into the bathroom after somebody else was done doing something in there. Came out, like, a minute later. And my manager was like, what, you don't even flush the toilet? And he was like, oh, no, I just washed my hands. And she was like, I didn't hear you do that either. And he was like, "Oh, I gotta go,"
Oof.
and then just left. But
I gotta go, like forever.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like
I think
I miss
that
my
was,
wife too. I
I
miss
think
her a
that was
lot.
the same year where like I just unlocked this memory. Holy crap! So there was one day where I was closing at a Walgreens.
wait, come on. I'm sorry, but before you go on,
Hey,
audio
Cosmic,
listeners,
are you done yet? That's what Cole just hit you with again. It's crazy how often he does this.
You're reading a book in the middle of the show.
I only read
What's
like
up with
4
that?
sentences.
So anyway, Cole, as you were saying,
No,
Cole was
I'm
talking
trying
about
to help
nothing.
you.
That's what I was reading.
He was reading a book.
Well, Cosmic
here's
started
the
saying
thing.
something
Okay.
interesting, so I was about to close it.
don't feed the inflammatory Nestani. Just
Don't feed the trolls.
I'm hungry.
just
Go
go
on.
on with
Just
it.
go.
No, I was going to
There's
say
Krispy Kreme
you
donuts.
asked the
Yeah,
question
that
that you were
was
going to
Ate
ask.
on the mountain.
No, that was the. Why would?
Why would what?
Why is he reading a book?
Oh, why was he reading a book? Oh, he just
Yeah.
wasn't interested. It's fine. It's cool.
I wasn't interested in what Cole was saying. This is true. People have been saying this.
Ouch.
I wasn't
Anyway.
even talking when you picked up the book.
All right. So anyway, I was closing at a Walgreens one night, and one of my associates and I are walking out of the building together, and this woman walks up to us, and she says, "Hey, I really need a ride
Hey.
home. This guy just dumped me on the side of the road, and I have no way to get home. Could you maybe call me an Uber or something or whatever?" And unfortunately, since we're in the fucking boonies, there's no fucking signal and there's no
That we
Uber
visit
out
the
there.
boondocks.
So I said to my associate, I was like, I'll call you once I've dropped her off. I'll just go and drop her off because the associate lived south and this woman was needing to go north. So I'm driving this woman home.
Amount of people use with
And-
Kanye's West children, I think, right? Her name is like West or North or South, whatever it's
Northwest, yeah.
Northwest.
Her-
No,
her
I was
West-
close. I was close.
West.
I was close.
Her name is Northwest, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Fucking
driving
dumb
this
as
woman
bricks.
home, and she starts talking to me about how she's behind on rent, and the guy that she was with, it was gonna be to like help pay for that, and I was like, I'm really sorry to hear he did that to you. And then she asked
L.
how long it And then she asked how long it had been since I had sex.
Oh, no thanks.
And I was like, oh, it's been like over a year. And
Dude,
she was like,
why did you answer her honestly?
You should have been like, oh, it's been like a day. I have a girlfriend. Smile.
I should have, but.
Or you should have just like wiped off your mouth, just like, what do you mean?
So I said, oh, like over a year or something. And she was like, well, maybe we can help each other out then. And I said, no, thank you. I'm not really feeling that right now. And she said, oh. And then just like turned forward for the rest of like the 10, 15 minutes that I like drove her home. And then she just thanked me for driving her home. And I was like, what the hell did I just witness? Like, it was just another one of those surreal things that happened at my time at that Walgreens. I swear some of my time at that store from like 2016 to 2015 to like 2019 was just, it just seemed not real sometimes. And then like I had to text my associate and be like, hey, I'm heading home now. She tried to proposition me.
I said, hey.
She was like,
it's me.
She was like, what?
RyanInTheory at twitch.tv/Ryan. Honestly, I can't approve this crap. This sucks.
This sucks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
So I have a question for you, Cosmic. How hot would she have had to been for you to say yes?
I'm not going to do that with somebody that I just met like a minute ago that like.
Oh, this was that recent.
Well, she literally like.
In the story.
No,
in the story.
No, in the story.
In the story,
he
she
met the
was,
girl
it was like a minute ago.
She got dropped off and she was like stranded or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So he just engaged with her. Not to be confused with Engage 8.
In the time not like present day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like if it was like Zendaya or something, you know what I mean? Like, what would it take for you to say yes in that situation?
Zendaya's not asking Cosmic.
Is there
I mean,
you know?
I really don't know, dude. Because if it was that exact situation, it's such a strange situation to be in, where you're just like walking out of your fucking weird ass.
And then Zendaya's just right there saying like,
and then, Zendaya. If Zendaya was sitting outside of a Walgreens in Delaware, okay, I would have way too many questions to simply be like, Zendaya, I see that you're offering to have sex with me. Perhaps we can do something here. I would have way too many questions.
Perhaps an arrangement could be made.
That's going at the beginning of the podcast.
Perhaps an arrangement can be made. Yes.
That's awesome.
You know,
if Zendaya's outside of a Walgreens in Delaware, how likely does it mean then that Tom Holland is also outside of that same Walgreens?
I'm assuming that Tom Holland would be the one in this story that had dumped her on the side of the road.
True.
Yes.
Tom Holland's a piece of shit, guys. I can't believe
Sucks
he
to be Tom
dumped
Holland.
Zendaya on the side of the road. That's crazy. Yeah.
What a fumble.
We should write about this on Twitter and cancel him right now. Can't believe he did that.
Spider-Man 4 not coming back home. So.
Podcast title.
Would Tom Holland get Zendaya on the side of the road?
Would you let Zendaya proposition
you? Outside of a Walgreens.
I feel like I like proposition less than just sex. I feel like I like
Would
that
you let
way.
Zendaya sex you?
I
See, when
would
you phrase it like
cry.
that, it's like, yeah, sure. But when
Well,
it's
I
like,
don't know. Tell me how to phrase it. I'm asexual. This is
again,
not my
you
area of
just
expertise.
like
You could just not.
in front of a Walgreens. Just put in front
Have
of
you ever
Walgreens
considered
in front
not
of it.
speaking?
No, actually.
No, I really hadn't crossed my mind, frankly.
Not to be
at
confused
all.
with crossing people up like in basketball, like breaking their ankles.
Or
Kyrie
in
Irving.
Melee.
Ouch. Breaking ankles.
True.
Speaking of Melee fucking sucks. Anyway.
Why? Why does Melee suck now? Is it the
It doesn't-
commentators? Is it the controllers? Is it the boss?
It's probably the commentators.
Is it commentators that like just don't participate in brackets? Or what?
No, I mean there
Because
are.
there's this problem, man, with like Smash and FGC commentators that it's like people that never enter and like barely play.
I don't really think that's the case.
I
for
don't think
Melee.
it matters for like Ultimate and Melee.
It's the quality. It's the quality of the commentary.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just how good you are.
it's
Like if you're a really good commentator, I do not give a shit if you play the game, right? Like like two of the best Smite casters of all time are F. Dot and Dulcin. They're both fucking dog shit at Smite. I can run circles around them with both of my hands tied behind my back. All right, like they're awful. They're like fucking like silver and gold players. No flame to them. They're just silver and gold players. It's fine to be silver and gold. However,
well, you can also not expect a top player to be able to explain why they're a top player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I will say that my problem mostly is that, at least with FGC commentators that I've noticed, is that there is a growing dissonance between how commentary approaches like perspective, essentially, because if you don't have the perspective of at least playing the game and competing it to some level, you're not going to be able to explain certain things. Like, and then sometimes if you just know the theory and you don't have like the firsthand experience, in some cases it will fall short. And it seems to me that like with sort of like that budding like job basically in the FGC, there are a lot of people that are just there to like hop on the mic and not really do much else. But then there's people that are like the gold standard, like Sajam, who plays a lot. And Sajam is not a top player, but Sajam very clearly understands the games because he plays them. And so there, when he commentates, there is not that same dissonance as other people who I won't name drop out of, you know, just like...
I think in Melee, for example, like there are, you know, players that are like have been top players or know the game very well, and they'll just talk about the most random shit on the mic.
Kadoran.
Yeah, Kadoran being a great example.
So like
where it's or like Jorge, where it's just like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like there's just this cool ass moment that you just fucking ignore. You know, it's like.
Well, I mean, if you tune into any like Super Metroid run recently on a marathon, same shit happens. Yeah, where it's like all these really top players for this game that's well loved by a lot of people, and they're barely talking about the run. They're podcasting
because it's expected. But that's a whole nother can of worms.
But
that's true.
Nestani, you had
I have to say is that like it like I think it's important that the commentator plays the game at all. I think that is important. Mm-hmm. I do not think it matters their skill, because I think you can be a gold, silver, like bronze fucking player, right? But the thing is that your job then is to talk to the pro players as much as possible and learn as much as possible off of them. And it's a bit different because, again, the people that I'm referencing in Smite, they are color commentators. They're chair 2s. They're not chair 1s. And chair 1 is basically chair 1, you do more of the analytical stuff. Chair 2 is more play-by-play casting, for those that don't know. So they're play-by players, right? So they don't necessarily need to know all that stuff, but they do need to know how to ask questions for the chair 1 so that they can have this like bounce back. And if you know literally nothing about the game, you can't even like phrase those questions properly. And because what happens if you don't phrase a question properly on commentary is that the person that knows what you're trying to ask has to then translate it and then answer it, which creates this very long drawn out thing that makes them look a bit worse. And then you're also missing more of the gameplay, which is just like not ideal. So I think a lot of that is mitigated. I do think it's a bit different in fighting games just because you're both doing the analysis and the play-by-play. Like there's not really a set flow there because the games are really quick, right? And there's so much going on. There's so many little things to talk about, and there's so many high-level things to talk about. It's just like, it just kind of depends.
Whereas in something like Smite, you have moments where it's like
you have downtime. You can build up something.
You have downtime to like talk about econ or like you know, gameplay and strategy,
commerce, taxes.
Yeah, I mean it's even similar to like speedrun commentary, right? Where like there is room definitely for a lot more like color commentary during speedruns because there, especially during like races or tournaments, it's actually I think beneficial to not just have people that are super good at the game on there, but also people that can talk it up and
get people excited. That's the other thing.
Exactly.
I think
that's why I had PT on the couch.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah,
and it was fireworks, awesome. Right? I think the other thing too, specifically with the like if you have a commentator for like a esport that's like lower skill, is like because they're like not like a top level player, I feel like they're less likely to get locked up in the top level nuance of like certain things like mechanics or stuff, and they might be able to speak the language of the average viewer a bit better,
which is better in my opinion.
Which is generally better for the the goal of the commentary isn't
is to translate it for the layman.
For the layman, exactly.
That's why everyone loves
the
Scar, for example, in Melee.
Exactly.
Because he would do a lot of that translating from Toph. Right.
Yeah.
Granted, Toph
There's
does a
that,
good job
right?
of dumbing it down, but like...
And then there's the part of the spectrum that I'm talking about where somebody says, oh, I wonder how the Testament and Milia matchup is. And then the other commentator goes, oh, it's dead even. And then then the first commentator goes, really? And the second guy goes, oh, that's what so-and-so told me. And then doesn't explain shit afterwards.
Or it's just like, God, there'll be some time. I mean,
Yeah, like
we were talking about Scar and Toph,
but you could, like that person could, in theory, get the answer from someone and be like, well, I heard from blah 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 that because of these reasons that it's even. If they just explained it, I think that's
something that Toph
fine.
does a good job of.
Even if you say
like,
that someone else said the thing, as long as you tell what they said,
yeah,
I think it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Jack.
I feel like Toph does a really good job of that, of like talking about conversations and explaining viewpoints to other players, because the top player that Toph was talking to probably put it in a lot more depth and nuance, and he's able to
consolidate it. Yeah,
exactly, really effectively,
which is what a commentator should do, and that's
their job, right?
Yeah.
So.
And what happens is that if you get commentators that don't do that, they're just not doing their job because they're not commentating. Like if you can't consolidate things down, you can't commentate.
And this I'm about to make a slightly controversial take here. I think that's part of the reason why sometimes for speedrunning specifically, you don't like always want like your world record holder or your runner doing the commentary. Because I feel like sometimes when you're that high level, again, you get caught in that nuance.
Yeah.
And unless you're really skilled at commentary this skill, it might not translate over super well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
now, some people can do both, and it works great. But that's you should err on the side of like, let's get someone else on here.
Yeah. I mean, it's like with your run with Claws and fucking single scoop, single scoop and Haxie. Single scoop and Haxie did a lot of this like really detailed stuff, and then Claus would be like, "Oh, so it's kind of like this, right?" And he would like
and like bridging that gap.
Yeah, and it did a really good job at that, right? Yeah.
It would.
And because that's like a thing that I do a lot with my commentary is just dumbing everything down to a single sentence. It's like the thing that I'm best at in the world is just consolidating something into a single sentence. Now that's not very good when you're trying to commentate an hour-and-a-half game.
Yeah.
Because then you have to actually embellish, and I'm not good at that. I'm not good at embellishing. I'm good at just getting to the point and being like, here.
As opposed to me, where my entire personality is embellishing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why, like, Lunistis, super easy for me to commentate because I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. It happens so quick. Like, done, we're out of there.
And then I just step in when, you're in World 4, so I'll step in. Yeah. So it's like...
You were going to say something.
Yeah, I mean, when I had... Vash on my couch for DMC5, that really taught me, and I mean, even also working with him on the original Nero Dante DMC4 commentary that was done in 2020 as well. I really learned a lot from that guy about structuring things in a way that is just intuitive for people to understand. I mean, an easy example is that I was like using a lot of game jargon, and so there's a grab that Nero has that's called the Devil Bringer or whatever. So I was saying you're going to use your Devil Bringer to slam these enemies into the ground or whatever. And Vash was like, just say the grab. You'll get the same message across.
Yeah.
And it'll be easier for people to understand, like that just haven't played the game. And I was like, it's a very good point. I will do that. And it was a lot of little stuff like that, breaking things down. And I forget exactly who I kind of finally translated that knowledge to. I think it was Cypherin when we were going over the commentary for Shinobi, that he was like, busting out a lot of the terminology, and I was like, I'm going to be straight up with you, dude. I'm just calling that shit the fire kunai or the fire key or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to call it what it actually is. I'm just going to call it this, or I'm just going to call this that.
Yeah,
because
the only time where you actually use names is if it's like funny. Like, if we do frights, we're gonna say beat my keys. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna be like, so if like, granted, there's no like cringe tech names and frights. They're all very like it's a super smash and a charge tech. Like we have that luxury, but
you have face screen. I mean, you have something like swamp.
But like
bass.
fish cringe is funny. You know what I mean? It's like
fish cringe is funny. You know, that's
Yeah.
you know,
When is
Big
the
Nasty
invention of
and
fish
swamp ass
paste?
were funny, and we made a bit out of it. I'm still so surprised they let us say swamp ass on GDQ stream.
Yeah, it's fine.
the swamp ass thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
that
awesome.
was
GDQ is a lot more lenient than people give them credit for.
Yeah, I said PP on GDQ.
True.
I just want to point out, guys, that these niggas gave me so much shit for my fucking PP bit that lasted for like 15 seconds. And Jack says swamp ass, and no one bats a fucking eye. What's the difference?
Yeah, well, I cleared it with staff before I went for it. Is the thing.
But I'm funny, so like, what is it like? What?
And I'm not. What the fuck? Fuck you.
Wow.
Ouch. Damn.
Damn.
Leave your greatest funnies in the comments below, everyone. That's going to be the end of the episode.
Yeah. On that dull note,
You, our viewers, are also funny, so you should like and subscribe so you can continue to
Yeah,
share.
and if you don't do that, you're not funny, and I hate you.
True.
Yeah, and you
Also
suck.
true. Yeah. All right, everybody.
I was going to tell
So
you all to
who's
kill
got-
yourself, but then I walked
Well, I was
back.
going to say who's got some stuff going on, because I got stuff going on.
Oh,
but
do you have something to say, Cosmic? Go ahead.
Oh, no. I mean, it was just like a little thing. Like,
Go ahead.
basically, I have a YouTube
Are you done talking
video
yet?
up.
Because I wanted
No.
to say something.
I have a YouTube video up. So in DMC5, I've started doing all collectibles runs, which are basically more completionist type runs where we collect all of the purple orb fragments, the blue orb fragments, do all the secret missions, and grab the secret weapon. So that video is now up on my YouTube, and it's pretty cool. So you should check that out.
And Cole's
there
going to
might be
upload
more
on
stuff.
his channel in like fucking 3 months or 4 months or some shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Takes me a hot
I
sec.
will probably be doing more
gonna be a good
completionist
video.
stuff in the coming weeks or whatever, and I'll probably have another big announcement in like a couple of weeks. We'll see how that goes.
Sure. Yeah.
But that is really about it for me. I think coming up on my channel this weekend for when this will be posted.
Silent Hill 3, 2, 1.
No, actually, it'll probably be Fatal Frame.
Oh yeah, because you just picked that up.
Because it was the poll, yeah. Because I ran a poll on Twitter and I was like, oh cool, people voted for Fatal Frame. I'll play Fatal
Go to
Frame.
the polls. Pokemon Go.
But I'll probably also be doing more DMC5, maybe some DMC4 on the Twitch this weekend. So
Sheesh. This guy
Yeah.
streams.
Yeah. I
yeah,
also
look at me
stream.
go, dude.
I'll be playing Rabbits Go Home or something
Rabbits.
else at some point.
Hey, it's a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get ready for those GDQ submissions.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah, getting ready for the
Trying to-
GDQ
trying to figure those
submissions.
out.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I'm
You
kind of in a
don't,
weird
because
spot where I feel like I
you-
don't have a solid 5 games to submit. So
It's fine. I have a solid 4, so I'm probably just gonna roll with that.
for me, not having a solid 5 is like a failure because I'm just like weird and.
Well, Jax,
annoying
when
like
you get
that.
10 runs into the fucking marathon in 2
Every
years,
single fucking thing. Yeah,
Like,
you know, you're going to run out of games, man. Like, I don't know.
No, well,
just be less godlike. That's really,
I'm spinning.
really all I
I'm
can
spinning
tell
Pumpkin
you.
Jack again probably, and
Oh,
I want to
that'll
do
do it.
Spite. I want to do Spidey as
Jaxler.
well.
Oh my god.
Cole, what do you got going on,
He has
buddy?
nothing going
When
on,
is
bro.
the-
He's just trying to
when-
I
find a
might make a
job.
video. That's
All right,
yep.
Yo, same.
When's the dance pad thing going up? Is there an ETA on that?
Like
I
probably a
want
month.
it this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want it this month.
Oh, this
All right,
month?
awesome.
Cool.
Very cool. Awesome.
I have
Yeah.
nothing going on. I don't do anything anymore.
You play Smite 2.
I do,
Oh.
technically. I think
You
I
do.
did stream for like 7 hours one day, which is like more than
You
I
did.
ever stream ever when I speedrun. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Time flies
Sorry
when
for
you're
your
it's a
having
loss.
good
fun.
game. Hey guys,
I don't know if he was having fun.
I was having a good time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude. Me, Ryan, and fucking Thomas were gaming, dude. We just shit on
Yeah.
kids in arena for like 4 hours
Oh,
straight.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I saw you like one tap a couple of people with that character with the bow.
Yeah,
Really fun.
yeah.
You just hit
shot
the old
dudes with a
button
bow.
and
Bang.
just shoot them through.
And now I'm gonna shoot myself. Goodbye, everyone.